we have our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. David, lovely to see you again. Had David on our show already on Friday. Eberechi Eze, we were just talking about it with the chaps. He's playing for Palace today, so he's not going to Tottenham?
He quite possibly is still going to Tottenham, but he's continuing to play for Palace in the meantime, which we saw with the Community Shield as well. Tottenham are pushing for his signing, but there's no agreement yet. Eberechi Eze has told Crystal Palace that he would like to make the move there. And Palace are understanding of this. At 27 years old, his contract expires in 2027. There was a release clause. It's now expired. It was valued at 60 million plus £8 million. I think Palace would accept a bit less, but they want the right deal for them, and it's not there yet. I've reported in the last 24 hours that they're exploring alternatives. Bilal Al-Khanous at Leicester City. They've made an approach for him. There was a release clause with him. That has also expired, so it will take a negotiation, and it won't be easy with Leicester. They've also approached Club Brugge in Belgium about Christophe Solis. He used to play for Norwich City. And a bid has been made. It's been rejected. Talks ongoing. So they know the end is coming. Marc Guehi is a player who may leave Crystal Palace as well. They're looking for alternatives. If that happens, Liverpool have held initial talks, but he may stay and see out the final 12 months of his contract and leave as a free agent in 2026. He's playing today, so a lot going on at Palace, a lot of work behind the scenes that needs to be resolved as the season gets underway.
Now, if you and I had this chat 2 weeks ago, we'd have been talking about Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. That's now not happening. So where have Arsenal, or so far, so we think, where have Arsenal redirected their attention?
I want to be clear that Arsenal have a strong interest. They love Eberechi Eze, and Eze grew up as a fan of the club. But that situation was always linked to a possible departure for the young player Ethan Nwaneri, who entered the last year of his contract, but he decided to stay and sign a new deal. So the Eze pursuit got put on the back burner unless the price came down, which it's not going to. I think Arsenal would like to upgrade on the left side of their attack if they can. That's no disrespect to Martinelli or Trossard, but I think they've identified that as an area if there are departures, which there's no sign of at the moment. And they've been heavily linked with Rodrigo at Real Madrid. I don't know of any activity on that one, even though they've looked into it in the past. Arsenal have done a huge amount of work this summer under their new sporting director, Andrea Berta. Really marked himself out as a leading operator in this industry. And when you look at the signings from Kepa, Norgard, Mosquera, Zubimendi, I think that's a top deal, Noni Madueke and Victor Gyökeres, what value for money if he scores goals? He was their clear top target despite looking at Benjamin Sesko for 4 years. They've got a lot of PSR headroom, so they could do more, but they're tight on the UEFA financial fair play rules. Mikel Arteta faces a big season. He's under maybe external pressure, but that is not replicated internally. They are squarely behind him.
And Manchester United, their opponents today, Carlos Baleba from Brighton, a player that's been linked for quite some time now to Manchester United. Any movement on that, David?
They explored it initially through intermediaries and then directly in conversations with Brighton. But Manchester United are not planning to proceed with that potential transfer, largely because he's not for sale. That's Brighton's perspective. The price would be too high even if they were to consider his sale this summer. But that doesn't mean Manchester United's interest goes away, maybe in the summer of 2026. Baleba was up for the move. Personal terms wouldn't have been a problem, but he didn't agitate for a move away from Brighton. So we'll see if Manchester United bring in an alternative number 6, because that is on the agenda. However, if they do at expense, that may affect the Baleba pursuit in the future. They've been linked to the likes of Hjulmand at Sporting Lisbon, of Adam Wharton at Crystal Palace. I'm not sure those are likely to come to fruition at this moment in time. They want to get players out of here. Andre Onana is an interesting situation. They would look for a new goalkeeper, but there's no sign of him going at the moment. Garnacho, good chance he goes to Chelsea. Jadon Sancho, Roma in talks club to club, but he hasn't decided. Rasmus Højlund, his time here looks to be coming towards an end. He's not involved today. Terrell Malacia also could leave the club. Many have looked at United signings, very impressive, by the way, and Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko. Sesko wasn't their top target, but he's been high on the agenda for a long time, and they're very pleased with that. We'll see how he gets on today. How have they done all this business? Well, they had some funds available. They also have January 2026 and the summer of 2026 up until June 30th to try and get players out and balance the books. They've got a credit facility they can extend. They also managed to get Marcus Rashford's wages away from Old Trafford and sell-on clauses in the case of Elanga and Carreras. So they are making things work, but the ambition here at Old Trafford is to keep activity going in, possibly, out, definitely, before that window shuts on September the 1st.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.